good evening. Today is Friday, February 2nd, and we have two birthdays today. Today is Chris Campbell's birthday. So Chris, happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Chris. Happy birthday to you. Cha-cha-cha. It's also Laura Hall's birthday. So Laura, happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Laura. Happy birthday to you. Cha-cha-cha. Well, I hope you all have a great, great birthday. I know this is another night when my video is getting up very, very, very late. I have had quite a day, let me tell you, quite a day. After having quite a night last night, because last night, well, I had the turkey dinner. We had the Mary's birthday. We did Mary's birthday. We're switching from our AT&T internet, because I'm just tired of dealing with AT&T, to the Xfinity, which is Comcast, but Xfinity internet. So originally they had told me that they could send me all the stuff and I could just do it myself. And I said no, because Aaron tried to do it himself, and Aaron, who is my tech guy, called for them to come out to do it. So anyway, we had this guy come out, and had to pay $100 for him to come out. And he gets here and he looks at all of our stuff, and we would have never been able to do it ourselves, because he had to leave and go to his shop, which thankfully wasn't that far from my house, to get the right equipment. And then he had to put some wire down where they'll come back in the spring and put it underground. So I got wire stretched up my backyard to the pole, to the house behind me, over to the side with the very unfriendly neighbor. And even when he came back, he says, they're not friendly at all, are they? And he said, I said, no, they're not. And he said, they wouldn't unlock the gate to let me in. And I said, really? He says, yeah, but I have a ladder. I used my ladder and climbed over the fence. He says, because that's our utility pole, even though it's in their yard, we can have access to the yard. I thought, oh my God, nowadays, how do you know somebody's not going to come out and shoot you for trespassing or something? I mean, I thought he took his life into his hands. But anyway, so he came here. He was here a total of, I always thought he was going to be here for dinner, because he got here we ate dinner at 6. He got here at just a little bit before 2, and he left at 20 after 5. Okay, he was here 3 hours and 20 minutes for something that I was supposed to be able to do all by myself. No, that was not going to happen. And then when he got all done, it took me. First of all, I'll tell you that he finished all of his installing at 4 o'clock. And he says, okay, it's all set. And I go, well, Jim says, well, let me see. And we couldn't get anything. We couldn't get any of our apps. We couldn't get any of our streaming. And he says, well, that's something you're going to have to deal with. It's something with your TV. You're just going to have to. And I went, oh, no, buddy, you're not leaving. I paid $100 for you to come and get this working. You are not leaving until this comes back unless you give me $100. It took him an hour to figure it out. He did get it working, but it took him an hour to figure it out. Okay, it took him an hour. How long do you think it would have taken me? I would have never gotten it done. So anyway, he got that done, and we had dinner. We're waiting for Jimmy. We're waiting and waiting and waiting. So finally I called him. I go, Jimmy, where are you? He says, what do you mean, where am I? I'm at home. I go, dinner for Mary's birthday? He goes, oh my gosh, I forgot. I says, well, we're waiting here for you. And he says, well, you might as well eat without me, because I'm not coming. So we had our birthday dinner, and then we were done. We were going to book our hotel plans and our flights for the trip. We should have just done it another day. I was not in the mood. It was just very stressful. We couldn't figure it out. I called my cousin Lynn, thankfully, who is like my tech person in Canada, because Aaron is my tech person as far as anything here, and Lynn's our travel advisor. What do you call it? Travel agent, because she's a whiz on the computer, let me tell you. She can figure out anything. So she was figuring out the plane fares, and we were booking this and booking that, and Mary was insisting we had to go Delta because she had Delta miles, but she wanted to sit coach, and I told you I was going to pay extra to sit somewhere else, because I don't care. I'm going to be comfortable. It's a 4.5, 5-hour flight. I'm not going to be all squished into a seat. And then so she kept saying, no, we got to go Delta. We got to go Delta. So we were looking at all the prices for Delta. And Jim and I decided we were going to go premium economy, which was a step up. And then I got annoyed with Jim because I wanted, there was 2 seats that we could get there was nobody in front of us. There was a closet in front of us, which means that there's no seat in front of you and you could stretch your legs out. And it's on an aisle. So I would be on this side of the aisle and Jim would be on the other side of the aisle. So we're basically still next to each other, but on opposite sides of the aisle. But no, Jim wanted to be by the window. And so he's got a window seat, which is very comfortable because you can lean against the wall. Where am I? I'm in the middle. The worst seat to be on in the plane is in the middle with a row in front of you. So that just set my level. That just was my stress. That was a stress thing too. But we booked it, we got it all done, and then we did Denise's flight. And Denise booked the exact same flight, was in the exact same row. Jim and I are in 13A and B. She's in 13E and F. She's on the other aisle. We're on this side. And her tickets are $50 less. I paid $50 more, and I was doing all the work. I was I was like, let's just get this done. It's $50. Let's just get this done. So then Mary comes to book her flight. Mary's just going to go coach because she wants to go. She doesn't care. She doesn't need a lot of room. She says, I'm just going coach. And her friend Sharon says, I want to just go coach too. So they got a really good ticket price. And so then we're going to put their Delta miles in. And she says, oh, well, I don't have any Delta miles. It's a strangler. We could have found cheaper rates on another flight, but we booked Delta because we all wanted to fly on the same plane. We all wanted to fly at the same time. Obviously, being on the same plane, you're going to fly at the same time. And then it didn't really matter what flight. And so then Lynn says, well, are we going to start again? I go, no, we're not going to start again. We're just going to keep what we had. So we got that all done. And then it was 100 because we started off on speakerphone on the phone, and from there we went to the free Zoom meetings, which are 40 minutes a time, and we got knocked out of the Zoom and had to re-sign in 4 times. That's 160 minutes. 160, right? 4 times 40, 160 minutes booking these flights, and I was near stroke. And so we get done, it was like 10:15, and I'm sitting watching TV, and at 11 o'clock I thought, I didn't upload my video. I had it all done. I had it all edited. I forgot to upload it because all I had to add was Mary's little birthday celebration. So that's why I didn't go up till almost midnight. But I have to say that the internet was faster. So anyway, we got approved for to get $30 off a month because Jim's a veteran. That's some kind of government plan that we qualified for Jim to get $30 a month off for his internet forever. And but we had to have it done by February 5th because the government's not giving any more money, not releasing any more money for that. So they had told us originally when we signed up for it that we had to wait until it was installed, and then we had to call back. We had to apply for it first and then get a number, but then we had to call back to Comcast to give them the number. And I got some, my stress level is just like, I did turn to food. I had cake and ice cream. There was leftover cake and ice cream, and the lady at Comcast annoyed me and stressed me out so much that I had a slice of cake and my Rocky Road ice cream because it was just, I could have exploded. I really could have exploded. So I was on the phone with her for 49 minutes just to tell her that I qualified for this plan. And she kept trying to sell me a phone. She says, you can have a phone for $0 down and we'll give you a $30 a month credit. I don't want it. I don't need it. I don't want it. I told her I don't know how many times, so much so that Jim came in the room and started yelling at her on the phone because I was on speakerphone. And so finally she says, well, I guess you don't want to save money. I go, I want to save $30. I want to just get this taken care of. That's all I want to do. So she gets all of that. And she says, so then she gets it all done. And then she said, I'm going to send you a text for the plans and sign it and agree to it. So then I'm reading it and it says $115 a month. And it's supposed to be $80 before I get the $30 off. And so then I said, no, this is wrong because it says $115. I'm only supposed to be paying $80 before my discount. That's the price I was quoted by Muhammad last week. And she says, calm down. If I didn't think that she was going to disconnect me, I would have snapped at her. But I thought, it's not worth it. You've been on the phone with her for this long. Just let her say whatever she wants. You don't have to deal with her after we get done with all of this. So we get all done with her. and finally get everything all situated. And she says, if you keep on scrolling, you would see that it's $80. So I kept on scrolling, and on the bottom it did say $80. I did agree to the $80, signed all the paperwork, sent it on its way. So she gets all done. She says, okay, we're all complete. And I said, so I'll get my $30 off. No, you need to call this number to activate it. Why did I call you? Why did I call you? Well, I had to call her first of all so she could put it in the system so that when I call the other number that it would be activated in that. So I said, fine, just give me the number. So then I called there, and I get a recording that, like I didn't do it right. So then I go back out of that, hung up again, tried the number that they originally gave me rather than the number she gave me. Went through all the prompts, finally got it all. Took me a half an hour. It took me a half an hour to get that done. So I'm going to get the $30 credit. In the meantime, I get a text from Comcast saying that when they laid the wire yesterday, they couldn't put it underground because the ground is frozen, obviously. They're going to come back in the spring. And so then they had asked different questions about my yard. And one of them was that they had put, do you have a sprinkler system? And they put, no, we have a sprinkler system in our yard. So I had put, yes, we have a sprinkler system. You need to call this number. So I called the number, and I talked to somebody, and they say, no, you got to go to the thing. I'm going to send you a link. So I go to the link. I go back to the thing, which tells me I got to call somebody. So I go back and call them again. Does she not give me the link to go back? So I'm just leaving it. I'm just going to have to watch out for them when they come to tell them I have sprinkler system, because at this point I'm just like stroke level on here. I'm just so pissed. So then she gets all done with that, and I get another text from with my new bill, $115, going to be automatically taken out of my checking account in 2 weeks for the next, because you pay for the coming month. So I tried to call them again. Well, because it just was a new order, it's not processed completely, so I have to wait till Monday to call them back. Fine, you got that all taken care of. So then when I was booking my flights yesterday, I booked my first flight to Seattle. My credit card went through. When I was booking my flight from Toronto or from Vancouver back home, my credit card denied it, wouldn't let it. And I had enough money. I had more than enough money on that credit card to pay for that trip. So in the meantime, I get an email during the night, and I get a call at 6 o'clock this morning from Discover, because that's what credit card I was using, that they saw some fraudulent activity on my card, and so they denied the request. So I had to call them just at Discover to figure out why which thankfully they did. And I thought of the reason myself before they said it, was I booked a flight from Detroit to Seattle, and then somebody's booking a flight from Vancouver back to Detroit. It's another country. I completely understood it. So then I said, they froze my credit card, so that my credit card couldn't be used until I called. So then when I called, I said, well, I want to get my credit card unfrozen, but I don't want to do that charge, because what I ended up doing is I'm going to put it on another credit card. So we got all that taken care of. So that was another half hour on the phone with that. And so then I had to call Delta back to find out why my flight cost $50 more than Denise's flight. And I got a very nice lady, and she helped me. But she can give me a $50 refund, but only in air miles, but for Delta miles. But I can't use it for luggage check-in or anything like that. It's only for plane fare. And I can't give it to somebody else. It's only something I can use. And I'm never going to travel again. And I can't say never, but so I just said, send me the $50 mile credit. If I use it, I use it. If I don't, I don't. I paid the $50 anyhow. So she said, well, what we can do is we can cancel the flight and we can book you on another flight. And I said, well, let's do this at first. We're not going to cancel it. I'll just book an additional flight. And then once that flight goes through, then I'll cancel the original one. That way I'm assured of being on the same plane at the same time. And I get the same, like a better price. Well, I did on one of those, Lynn did it, but we did it on one of the sites where, like they always look for the best price. And they couldn't beat the best price. If I would have rebooked it, it would have been $150 more. Just keep it. So that was another hour on the phone with that, between being on hold and everything like that. So it was just my whole day. And in the meantime, while I was on hold for everything, because I was on hold a lot, I watched my YouTube videos. So I caught up on my YouTube videos. And then when the representative would come back for a hot minute. I'd pause the video, talk to them. They'd put me on hold again, and I'd unclick, and so I did get a lot of videos in today, so I was able to watch my videos. And then we had to go pick up Alyssa from school, and then we had to bring her to work, so we brought her to work. And then we went to the clock. When Jim was moving the TV, he knocked my one clock over, my snowman clock that Sebastian and Oliver had given me a couple of years ago, that has the calendar and everything in it. So Jim was gluing that back together, and he broke the clock. So he wanted to buy new parts for the clock to rebuild the clock. So we went to Hobby Lobby and bought that and got that done. And then I printed off all my material, so I have all my material, and I put it in a little folder for my trip. So I have like my cruise and my hotel rooms, because we got those all booked. I got my air flights all booked. I got my insurance, because I took insurance out on all the flights. I took insurance out on the cruise. I might as well take insurance out on the flights too, just in case something happens. So I got all that taken care of. And then back and forth talking with Denise and Mary and Christy, trying to figure, well, Christy just because I talk to Christy every day, but then Denise and Mary trying to get all of these arrangements done. And but at one point when I was getting so stressed, because on my Apple Watch I have a heart monitor, and I clicked on my heart monitor and my heart was beating at 105 beats a minute. I thought, okay, Sandy, sit back, calm down, get a focal point, relax. Because usually my resting heart rate is around 67, 68. So to be 105 was not good. And I knew it was not good. And I'm thinking, is this really worth all this stress or all this? It's just not worth it. It's just not worth it. But now it's all done. I can just sit back and relax. When we get our income tax, I'm going to pay the credit cards off. The airfare cost almost as much as the actual cruise. So it's like, this is going to be an expensive trip. I didn't realize when we said we were going to do it how expensive it would be. Oh, that was another thing. Jim helped me fix the microphone for the car. It took us a hot minute because they didn't give us really good instructions. But between the two of us, we figured it out. So I got the microphone working. So when I'm in the car, I can get the microphone, if it still works the next time I want to use it. And then I think that's about it. I know I went on a roll here ranting. I know, but it was just, well, let me see what my heart rate is now. Just from all the ranting I was just going on, my heart rate, let's see, it's measuring right now. Because it's just like, I get so worked up about nothing. Not nothing, but my health is not worth all of this. Oh, it's not too bad. It's 76. That's not too bad. Like I said, my resting heartbeat is usually 68. So 76 right now is not too bad. But we didn't get to the gym. I told you I wanted to go to the gym on Monday, Wednesday, and Fridays. I didn't get to the gym today because I was on the phone. That reminded me too, is when I was at the gym the other day, the guy next to me, he wasn't running, he was walking, but he was walking because I looked over. He was walking at a 3.7 miles an hour. So let me say, he was almost running. He was at a really good walk. He was like moving, but he was at work. Because and nowadays, because so many people work from home, like I'll call, like if I'm calling about, let's say, I'm going to call about AT&T, and I'm talking to somebody that's in the United States, which is very rare. But let's say, I'm just using that as an example. You can hear their kids in the background of the dog barking because they're at home working. But I mean, they're still getting the job done. But he was doing work. he was like a walking through type of person, like he was going to walk you through how to do something, because he would do it, and then he'd and then he'd say, "Hi, this is Stacy. What can I help you with?" And and he'd go on to the next call, and he'd talk whatever he was going to talk, and then, "Hi, this is Stacy. What can I do for you?" I'm thinking, he's getting paid to work out at the gym. That's the job to have. But it didn't seem like he was fluffing anybody off. It seemed like he was getting his work done, and he wasn't out of breath when he was talking. But I kind of envied him a little bit that he's making money while he's exercising. So, okay, I guess that's it. I know that Joan is changing the name of her channel. She's looking for names. Suzanne, she changes her name so many times, Suzanne. I'm so sorry. I think it's Bright Lines. Well, anyway, Suzanne's changing her channel name. Kim at A Girl on Her Phone is looking for suggestions on her thing. I don't know if it's just like we've been doing it for so long and we just kind of feel like, oh my gosh, this is getting monotonous. Is this the same old, same old? Aren't you getting sick of this yet? Because I sometimes feel like that. I mean, did you really want to hear the rant that I went on today? I felt better getting it off my chest. But Do you really want to hear that? I don't know, but I do enjoy doing the videos. I really do enjoy them. I really appreciate that you put up with me with all my BS that goes on in my life sometimes. But it's a nice venting point for me, and believe it or not, it's relaxing. It really is relaxing. Although now I feel, I was just so busy the whole day on the phone for so long. I just happened to, Christy called me, and I just happened to look up at the clock. And she said, well, I wanted to get a hold of you before I went to bed. And I'm thinking, my God, Christy, it's only 6 o'clock and you're thinking of going to bed. And I look up at the clock and it was 10 after 8. I says, oh my gosh, it's 10 after 8. I didn't even eat dinner. And I thought, oh my gosh, that cake and ice cream kind of held me over for the whole day. Not the perfect diet, let me tell you. Cake and ice cream and a glass of milk. And then what else did I have? Well, that's it. Cake and ice cream and a glass of milk. So, and I'm not hungry because I'm stressed. But thanks for putting up with this old girl. I'm telling you, sometimes I just needed to vent, and it seems like lately I vent a lot. I don't mean to, but such is life, you know. That's the way it goes. So hopefully I haven't lost you. Maybe I'll see you tomorrow. Hopefully I will. Let's see. Let's see what the day brings, but I hope to see you tomorrow.